All right, so this was a project that we just finished up. We did a few things on this project, but I just want to highlight these because we came in, we made it better than it was pre-restoration. So master shower here. A couple things to note here. If we zoom into this tile pillar here, these tiles were actually really offset. They were not measured properly when they were originally put on. And so that was just like it was more of a cosmetic thing, but it looked really bad, right? We'll move up to here. So as you can see, this was drywall that was behind here. So there was no hardy board, cement board. There was nothing to ultimately mitigate water leaks. That was kind of the root of the problem. And then as you can see above here is drywall. Showers create a lot of moisture around drywall. What tends to happen, it starts to get soft, it starts to lose its strength, and it gets potentially moldy. So it was pretty evident when I arrived for the initial inspection that this shower definitely needed some work. I went ahead, drew up an estimate, drew up a proposal, and we began to perform mitigation. It turned out when we demoed the shower that there was some backer board near the bottom portion of the shower. I think at one point it was just repaired, but there was definitely some growth and there was evidence of maybe a leak that occurred prior, but ultimately it pretty much started to look like this. And then as we demoed more, so ultimately, once we removed all of the drywall and whatever sections of cement board which were on the lower portion of the shower, this is kind of what we were seeing. Now, this shower, this half wall here was really, really rotted out in the bottom. And we did spend a little bit of time drying it, but ultimately pieces were just too compromised and we just made the decision to just pull them out and put in new pieces of wood. As you can see, it was very wet. There was a lot of grout leaks, so on and so forth. Now, so this is kind of what it looked like right before we begun setting up the backer board and really waterproofing it and tiling it and whatnot. We rebuilt the half wall, we rebuilt the shower step, and then they begun to tile and put backer board up, and we tiled the entire way up. And this is my favorite part. Is we were able to repattern where the tiles were misaligned previously. So ultimately we made improvements. So you can see here that we tiled the whole way up. There's no drywall being used behind the tile. We adjusted some cosmetic things with the tile patterns. And then ultimately we were able to utilize the same shower assembly that was there, which actually posed a little bit of a challenge because these shower assemblies are sized to the original build. So it took some brain power and back and forth to really figure out, okay, what was the size of the half wall? It has to be the exact size. The granite that we're using might be a little bit thicker, so we had to factor that in. And all these things were factored in, and ultimately we were able to keep the same shower assembly without going back to the customer. And I will admit that the tile guy was pushing us to get a new shower assembly, and I told him no. For the most part, it was in good shape. And I told my customer that we would try to salvage it and make it work. And so that's essentially what we did. I'm very happy with it. The project came out great. If you notice there's some gray there, that's just wet paint. It's just drying, but as you can see, we painted that whole section and it dries chalk white. So, but yeah, these are the types of projects that we want more of, that we enjoy doing, especially too when the client lets us kind of take it and run with it, because we'll make minor improvements as we go along with it. Those little minor improvements, while they don't seem that big of a deal, they ultimately are a big deal when you're factoring in longevity and overall health of this shower and bathroom. And I'm really glad we had the opportunity to redo this shower. So I just wanted to share that with everybody and kind of just clarify what made it a little bit different. What we did was very intentional. This shower remodel was a success, and we are definitely looking forward to taking on many more.